is Michelle, and we're going to get started on the tutorial today for my America box album folio /folio, I guess you could say. This is my third design team project for Country Craft Creations using Echo Park's America line, and this was a super cute and fun line to use. And today what we're doing is we're going to make the box album folio entitled 4th of July Memories. So let's get started, and I think you're going to really like this. This does actually take quite a bit of paper. Let me get my notes here. You are going to need, let's see, where did I put that list? Okay, so in total, I'm using the Artisan Cardstock in dark blue. There's going to be 8 pieces of that we're going to need. I used 3 pieces of white Artisan Cardstock, 1 red and 1 light blue. The white and the dark blue make up kind of the base of the album, and then the red and the light blue I used to make some additional mats for this that you probably saw already in the walkthrough. Pattern paper, it does take quite a bit. Now I'm showing you the 6x6 paper pad because that was the cover of the paper that I wanted to show you. This is the paper line that we used. I didn't have a 12x12 paper pad. I had 12x12 papers, so that's what I did use. So 12x12 papers, you're going to need 12 to 13 sheets of those. 4 magnets and a bunch of seam bindings. So you'll see how we're using all of this as we go through making the album, but it turned out really cool. There's a lot of places for pictures, and you know, you could put multiple years worth of 4th of July pictures in this book if you wanted to, or one great big giant family celebration. So just to let you know, it does take quite a bit, but we'll have a cutting list in the description here, and I'll, excuse me, I'll spell that all out for you so you know how much you need. And I will have a cutting guide on my blog as well, like I always do, to show you how to cut the cardstock out. Okay, so let's get started with this. And we're going to start, I've got this kind of sorted into, sections. So we're going to start with the base of the album. And so for that, we're going to need 2 6x6 pieces, which are going to be the top and the bottom flap. We're going to need 1 piece of 6x8, which will be the back of our box. 2 pieces at 7.5x8, which will be the sides of the box. So let's go ahead and do the scoring, which, let me look at my notes here real quick because I want to make sure that I do it right for you. All right, so the 6x6 pieces, how we're going to score this is we're going to score at half and then at 3. Okay, so half and at 3. All right, so we'll do that to both of those 6x6 pieces, half and 3. I usually have these pre-scored, but I didn't do that today. And then we're going to have, this is the back piece, so again that's 6x8. We're not going to do any scoring with that. And then we have the 2 side pieces that are going to form the kind of outer parts of the box. So we're going to put this in. This is 7.5x8. And we're going to score at, same thing, half and at 3. Okay, so we'll put it in again at the 7.5 at the top, and we'll do half and 3. All right, so let's get rid of our scoreboard here for a second. We'll put all this together. So these pieces you'll need to miter these little corners here. Just like that. Hope you did have a good 4th of July. We didn't do anything but stay home and kind of make sure our dogs were okay. They don't like the fireworks, and this year it was horrible, loud. The news people said that they were selling fireworks in record numbers, and they sure did. And in Oregon, we're not supposed to have, fireworks that go up into the air. But across the river, which is very, very close to here, they sell them. So people go over there and get them and then bring them back here. And it was a crazy war zone, and it was worse than I have ever heard. We had so many fireworks. It was really pretty to watch since, you know, there's nothing going on. We didn't have, you know, an official fireworks display anywhere like we normally do. But yeah, it was really loud, and the doggies were not very happy. So as you can see, I'm just burnishing on all of my score marks. All right, so then we're just simply going to add them to this piece of paper. So the sides go one on each side, and how I did that was I glued it to the back of the base of the album. We're going to cover it all with pattern paper, so it's okay. It doesn't show on the back. We'll go ahead and put this on. This back base here. So this album will be 6 inches, 6 inches wide, 8 inches tall, and 2.5 inches deep. So like I said, it will hold a lot of pictures, and it does get kind of big. When I did the my demo or prototype model, I did it 8 by 10, and it was gargantuan, and it took so much paper. I was like, oh, I got to downsize this a little bit. But it turned out pretty cool. So we're just going to put the other side on there, and I'm just lining it up right to the edge of that score line on that 1/2 inch tab on the sides. All right, and then the top and the bottom will obviously go on there. So I'm just going to put a little glue here. I'm using my art glitter glue that I got from Country Craft Creations. The magnets I got from Country Craft Creations. And the seam binding is from Country Craft Creations. I got that in my design team package. So there we go. All right. Okay, now it doesn't look like this is going to be very sturdy, but believe me, once you get all the pieces in here, it's going to be really, really nice and sturdy. Okay, so we didn't do anything for the 4th but that, and then on the 5th, my husband and I took a Harley ride, went to the coast for the day. That was super fun. Beautiful day, not too hot, not too cold. Beach was beautiful, so there you go. Okay, so this is our folio album, and it's just going to fold up like this, and the flaps will go just like that. Okay, now you're probably wondering why I have the magnets. So this is going to have a ribbon closure on it, which is mostly decorative, but it does help close it. But I am going to use some magnets in a couple different spots to help hold the shape of the album. So you'll need a couple of them right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put them onto the top and the bottom flaps. And then that's, whoops, and then that's going to help kind of keep the shape of the album. So it's going to close like this. And we're going to just set a magnet here to connect to that to help hold it. And then later, once we make some other additions we're going to put on here, we'll put a couple magnets, and that'll help hold that piece closed. So it'll be a nice structured album. So not only will the pattern paper and the cardstock help keep the shape and strengthen it, but also the magnets will help too. So I'm just going to place the magnets right here in the middle-ish, like right about there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set them here onto the left page. So I'm just going to take that off. And then what I'm going to do, and this is a little fiddly, but you have to line up the box corners here, which I didn't do very well. Again, this is a little fiddly. Just make sure that lines up kind of nice. And then go under there and press it, and then that'll help, okay? And then we can put score tape on those, like that. like that, and then we'll do it again on the top side. So I'm just going to turn it around here. And do the same thing. So again, this is just to help kind of hold the structure of the book. Okay. And then let's try to match up the corners, the box. There we go. Press that down. There we go. Okay, so we'll have those magnets set. And then before we put our pattern paper on, so let's do this. Let's turn the book around. So this is how it's going to be. That will help keep the shape of the box. And then again, we're going to put some more on the inside. And then these are going to go on the front of the album, and they're going to tie in a pretty bow in the middle here. So that'll be a nice little decorative piece right here. I'm not going to put those on right now because they're going to get in the way with trying to construct the album, but we will do that at the end once we're done with all the construction, okay? So the next thing that we are going to do, and let me again double check my notes because I want to make sure, there's a lot of pieces, and I wrote down kind of a directions here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add our inner folio pages. So we're going to put this aside for just a second. We're going to have two pieces here, a right page and a left page, and they are different sizes. So the right page is 8 by 7, and the left page is 8 by 7.5. And the reason why they're different is because as you fold the book in from the inside, everything will have a 1/2 inch gusset, so you'll have room to put things in, okay? So the right page here, and let me again make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so this is the right page. This is 8 by 7, 7 inches is at the top, and we're going to score, let me make sure I got this right. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we're going to score at 1/2 and 1.5. Okay, 1/2 and 1.5. Again, this is the right page. It's 7 by 8, and we're going to score at 1/2 and at 1.5. And then we're going to take the left page, which is 7.5 by 8, and we're going to score it at 1/2 and at 2. Okay, so what this does is this gives a 1.5 inch gusset here and a 1 inch gusset here, and as it folds in on itself, they'll turn out to be a 1/2 inch in between pages, which is nice because then you can, you know, decorate and stuff. So then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to miter our corners. And then we're going to fold and burnish. Okay. So the left-handed page will have the bigger gusset here. And make sure we put them on the correct way because, and I'll tell you why, I made a model and I totally did it backwards. So yeah, we're going to do it right this time. Okay, so the left page will always go over the right page because we're opening it, you know, kind of like a book, so it always opens to the left. So just make sure your album is in the correct orientation. Okay, the left page has the bigger 1.5 inch gusset. That's going to go here, and the right page has a 1 inch gusset, and that's going to go here. And we're going to simply add it to the top here on the back of our album cover. So this 6 by 8 piece that we added those sides to, we're just going to add this here. And so I'm just going to put glue on the tab here, and we're going to glue it right directly to the back of the book. Okay, so making sure that we line everything up, and you want to get it, you know, just right to the score there. Make sure it's nice and even. Okay, like that. And then we'll grab the other piece, and this will go on the other side. Like that. I'm going to turn it around. And this is how I got myself a little confused, because I turn it so I can see it better, and then I got it backwards. So make sure you don't do that. Make sure you keep this in the proper orientation. And if it helps, you can put a sticky note on something that says top, which, you know what, is not a bad idea. Let's just do that, and then that way I won't mess up again. Because that was really irritating, I'll tell you. All right, top. There we go. Okay, so hopefully we will keep the right orientation. So this will fold in like this and like that, then like this, and then like that. And so you can see that it's kind of staggered, so that you have the gussets in between the pages, okay? So let's do that now. The next step we're going to do is we're going to make our angled pocket. We're going to make our gusseted pocket. Now this pocket will go on the very back of this album, so it's very important that you put your inner flaps on first, and then we're going to put the pocket right over top of those. So let's get this out of the way for just a second. And we'll get this out of the way. And then what you'll need are 2 pieces of paper. You're going to need one that's 2.5 by 7 right here, and this is a small pocket that we're going to put on top of the gusseted pocket. And then you're going to need one piece that's 4.5 by 9, and this is going to be the actual gusset pocket. Okay, so we'll grab our scoreboard again, and we're going to do some scoring. Now this is your gusseted pocket, so put it in your scoreboard with the 9-inch piece on top, and we're going to score at half, at 1, and at 1.5. And then you can either turn it and do that again, or just go to the end. And we need 3 half-inch things, so 1, 2, 3. So we're going to start at 7.5, and then we'll score at 8, and then at 8.5. Okay, or you can turn your piece, doesn't matter. So then turn it at where the 4.5 is on the end here, and just score it at 4, so you have a half-inch tab there. Okay, then this little pocket here is going to fit right on top of the pocket. So what we're going to do is we're going to score this. We're going to score it 1/2 inch on 3 sides, so that we can fold it and create a pocket that will go right on top of that. Okay, we'll get this out of the way and grab our scissors. And again, we're going to miter some corners. Now you're going to miter through all 3 of those 1/2-inch pieces. And then go up here just a wee bit to the 1/2-inch mark right there at the bottom. There's only 1 score line on the bottom, and then just angle it up like that. Do it again right here to the 1/2-inch mark, and then do a little miter, and then miter the other side. Okay, then we'll take our little small pocket. We'll do the same thing here, here. Miter those corners. Okay, so you should have a piece that looks like that. Let me get rid of my pieces here. All right, so then the pocket, I'll just fold that. It's going to have a gusset on it, so it's going to hold a journal. If you looked at my walkthrough, that was the other thing that I really liked. I like about having albums is some journaling space, and especially, you know, if you're going to have like multiple years in an album, which this one very well could be, multiple years, then you have lots of room to journal like the different things that you did, the different picnics you went to, maybe even your favorite picnic recipes in the journal, which is kind of cool. So I folded the sides in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold the bottom up over it, and not that one. I'm going to use this And I'm just going to stick that down here real quick and let it set. Okay, so now we're going to have that pocket created. All right, and then let's take this while that's kind of setting. We'll fold and burnish these lines. And then this will just sit right on top of that pocket. All right, so it'll go like that. Okay, that should probably be okay. So we can go ahead and add that now if you would like. You could do it after you put it in the book, doesn't matter. So I'm just going to put glue on the tabs of this small pocket here. Okay, and then make sure you put it on the bottom of the pocket. And we're just going to stack that right on top. Okay. All right. Okay, then let's grab our folio here, book folio, album, whatever you want to call it. This guy is going to go right in the middle, right there. Our journal will fit in here, and I'm going to show you how to make that journal. And then you have another little pocket for little tags and things like that. So this will hold quite a bit of stuff. When I was making this album, when I was designing it, my brain, you know, I was like, I want to make like an envelope type looking album, and that's kind of where the whole design came from. I was thinking like policy envelopes, you know, where it's tall and it has the two flaps, you know, that kind of come down. So that's where I got kind of the inspiration for this album. And then the other thing too, what I did was I started working on last night, taking kind of the ideas with this and putting it into a traditional album itself. So I will probably be working on that and showing you that in another design team project, kind of how I turned this into a traditional album with chipboard covers. Okay, so there's that. That's all done. So then the next thing we're going to do, let me double check my notes again. Sorry about that, is we're going to make some, what are we going to make here? Well, we're going to make some stacked pages. That's what we're going to do. So the stacked pages are going to provide yet another place for you to do some fun stuff. So they're going to go, the stacked pages are going to go on the sides here, the very first sides. So let's get those ready. Let me set this aside here real quick. You're going to need a few things here. You're going to need some sort of ribbon or seam binding. I chose to use some white ribbon. I'm using the seam binding on the front of the album. You're going to need a couple magnets because we're going to go ahead and set these to help with the closure. This is where that's going to come in. And then you're going to need some paper. You're going to need 2 pieces that are 9 by 2.5, and these are pockets that go on the stacked pages. So you need 2 of those, and then you'll need 4 pieces for the stacked pages that are 4.5 by 8. And these are pretty easy to do. So let me put those there. Let's grab our scoreboard again. And for the pockets, we're going to do the whole 3-side thing. So we're going to score it 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and do that to this one. And then we'll grab our pages, and these pages are just real super simple. They're all just going to be scored at 1/2 inch. We're going to put the 4.5 inch at the top, 8 inch down here, and we're just simply going to score at 1/2 inch on all 4 pieces. Okay. We'll get rid of our scoreboard and grab our book. You're going to have 2 pages on each side. So we're going to grab our book, and what we're going to do is, well, actually, let's not grab our book yet because we still got to do some preparation here. We got to miter all the corners and fold and burnish. Okay. Miter the corners of the pages, and then we'll miter the corners of the pockets. Alright. Alright, and then our pockets here. And one more. I usually have all this stuff already kind of pre-done, so you don't have to watch all of this. I'm sorry I didn't get to that part. But yesterday, like I said, we took a motorcycle ride, so I didn't get any crafting done yesterday. I had fun with my motorcycle, so we haven't been on a ride in a long time, so it was super fun. Okay, so we're going to fold and burnish all of our pieces here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we'll put them together and then we'll add them to the book. So fold and burnish all of our pages. All right, so grab 2 pages in a pocket. We'll put this one off to the side. And we're simply going to layer this page onto this page, okay? So that'll be down like that, adhered to the book, and then that'll stack on top. And then this pocket here will stack on just like that, okay? So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's grab our book and we're going to put one on each side. So pretty simple. Just go ahead and put your glue down here. And we're going to, now we're on this is the outside of the book, so don't put them on the inner pages here. You want it on the outer page here. And it's just going to lay right to the edge of that. Just line it up and stick her down. And that's all you have to do. Okay. All right. So then you will have a stacked page assembly that's right here. And then what we're going to do with the ribbon is we're going to put a piece of ribbon here and a piece of ribbon here, and then that will tie it and hold it shut. Pretty simple. So we'll do that in a second. So let's go ahead and put this page over here, and it's just opposite. Okay. So there we go. Line that up. Okay. Then, so there you go. You have 2 pages. So let's go ahead and put the paper, or put the ribbons down. So get your ruler, find your center here, and so the center will be at 4 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead, put a little tape down. All right, and then our ribbon will attach. Make sure that's centered. I'm just looking to see where the center is. Then I cut these at about 12 inches and I put that down. Okay. Now the second one you don't really need to use a ruler for, because you kind of have this as a guide for that. Oops. There we go. I probably should have done it the other way, but you know, did this side first. Anyway, you get the idea. There you go. Okay, so then what we really should do is I should grab the pattern paper really quick because that's going to stick. So let's do that. So for the right side here, I'll grab the paper that I'm going to use in the back and the paper that I'm going to use in the pocket just to cover those up, and then that way we won't have any issues with anything sticking where it's not supposed to be. So all right, so I'm just going to put glue down, and then I'm just going to add this piece of paper, and I cut all my paper 1/8 of an inch smaller than what I'm covering, so it gives a nice little 1/16 inch of border around it. So we'll just put that one down here. Okay, then we'll go like this. Then let's grab our pocket piece here, and then this will not only hold the pages down, but when you put tags in the pockets, it will help hold them in place too, which is good. Because sometimes with vertical pockets, you kind of have troubles with that. At least I do. All right. I'll lay that down. There we go. Okay. Okay. So then this will tie shut. I'm not going to put the rest of the papers on right now. But this will tie shut with a pretty little bow and keep your paper down. Okay, sorry for that interruption. So we have this done and it's tied. I'm going to trim that a little bit later, but you get the idea. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do the left side now. But first, before we put anything else on, what we're going to do is we need to set the magnets that are going to help keep these two together. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, this book is 6.5 inches wide, and these pages right here on the top are, I always do that, I always grab my ruler the wrong way, 4.5 inches. So in order to make it 6 inches, 4.5 plus 1.5 makes 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and line this up so I place my magnets the proper way, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to draw a line at 1.5, which happens to be the width of this ruler, so that I line my pages up right. So I'm just going to put this on the edge here. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to real lightly put a 1.5 inch line there. And then that'll just help me, all it's going to do is help me line up my magnets, okay? So I'm going to use a couple magnets here for that. We're going to put them on the pocket, and then we'll be able to put the lace on and put the pattern paper on over top of it, okay? So we're going to make sure that we're in the right orientation. We got our top here, right? Because we don't want any issues. And I'm going to go ahead and place my magnet on my pocket right about there, and then that will close that. Okay, so let's do that to the other side, and then you'll see what I'm talking about here as soon as we set them. I'm going to set them one at a time just because it'll be easier. All right, so I'm just going to close up this outer page and get rid of that. I'm going to take my inner page here and I'm just going to line it up, tilt it however you can to see really well, And I know it's dark paper, and I'm sorry about that. And I'm just going to do that and press that down, and then my magnet will be set on that side. Okay, and that's just going to help keep the shape of this box album folio when we close it. Okay, so second side, and again, however, well, maybe it's easier when I do it that way. I can see the pencil line better, that's for sure. That's not right. Okay, let's see here. And I'm just lining it up. There we go. Okay, like that. And we can open it up, put some tape down across this so it won't pop off. And then you'll see that when we go to close our album, we'll have our magnets, okay? And that will help keep the box shape. And then we'll have the tie here in the middle that will be super decorative, but it'll also help do the closure as well, okay? So there you go. That is how you set those magnets. So then what we're going to do, let me get rid of this, is we're going to put our lace on, and we're going to, and I'm going to do it this way this time because it's going to be a whole lot easier. To show you here. So I'll put my tape down. I'm going to center it, my lace. I should have done it this way on the other side because it does overlap it a wee bit. All right, so we want our lace going this way, okay? And then when we close our book, we can put our score tape here and we don't have to measure twice. Okay? Oh, no, not there. Not there. Wrong thing. I need to put it over here. Good thing we're going to cover that with pattern paper too, huh? Okay. Then what we're going to do is just take our lace and put it right there. You see how I'm just lining it up with the other lace that was there. So works out perfect. So then let's grab our papers for this side. So we have our paper for our pocket and we have our paper for the back. And just going to add some glue and glue this bad boy down. I just love this paper. So if you followed all of my projects with this America line, the first album box I did with white cardstock. And then the second project I did was the bunting, which I did with red cardstock. And then you notice today is the blue cardstock. So I got the whole red, white, and blue thing going on with my Artisan Cardstock. I like that. I thought it was pretty clever. There you go. Okay, then we'll do this one. And I do have my pattern paper all ready to go. We won't do it all on camera, but the few pieces that we have to do on camera, we are going to do. All right, so we'll lay this down right here. All right. Okay, so that part's done, our stacked pages, and then all that's left for this is to just go ahead and put the rest of the paper on it, which I will do off camera because you don't need to watch all of that. And I will trim that up in a little bit. All right, so there's that, okay? So there you go. All right, so let's see now, what are we doing now? Where are we? Where are we? What's next? We are going to do our angled pockets. Okay, so this is a fun little feature that I like. We have some angled pockets that we're going to put on here, but they're not the usual kind of angled pockets. They are actually going to swing out. and do some fun things. So we're going to put, I should tell you, we're going to put them on the inside. Here's the inner flaps. We're going to put them on these pages here. Okay, so for this, you're going to need 2 papers that are 6.5 by 6. Okay, we're going to take our scoreboard. You're going to need 2 of these, and this. I think you're going to like this. I think you're going to like this. Okay, so put your 6.5 inch at the top, 6 inch down the side, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so that would be 1/2 and 6, and then turn it so the 6 inch line, or 6 inch side is at the top, and then score at 3. Okay, then take your other 6.5 inch at the top, all right, and score at 1/2 and 6, and then turn it so the 6 inches at the top and score it at 3. All right, then what you're going to do is we're going to do some mitering. So you're going to miter all these pieces, and these tabs are going to create some fun elements here. So I'm calling these angled swing pockets, and I will show you why in just a second. And my laundry's yelling at me, but it's just gonna have to wait a minute, because we are doing fantastic. And I hope I'm not going too fast, but that is the beauty of a video. You can always go back and rewatch it again. But I really wanted to get this done close to the 4th as I could. Oh, so I already, okay, so this is going to be your pocket. So it's going to fold up like this, and then 2 of these tabs are going to help create the pocket, and the other 2 are going to create the tab that we attach it to the page with. So if you see what I did, I folded it in half, and then I folded 2 tabs inside, and then I folded 2 tabs to the outside. Okay, so just go ahead and burnish those folds. So again, 2 to the inside and 2 to the outside. Okay, the ones to the inside we're going to put glue on. That's what's going to create our pocket. Okay, so we'll just add a little glue here, and then we'll fold that so we have our pocket. All right, so now we have a pocket here with 2 tabs on the outside. Okay, let's do that again. So we'll fold this in half, okay, and then we'll fold 2 to the inside. All right, so 2 to the inside and then 2 to the outside. So when it folds up, you'll have 2 tabs on the inside and you'll have 2 tabs on the outside. Okay, so we'll fold and burnish. Okay, and the ones to the inside, we're going to glue like that. All right, now here's the trick. Here's the trick to this angled pocket. This is really kind of cool. So I'm going to grab my cutter, and this is, let's see, 5.5 inches across. So half of 5.5 is 2 3/4. Okay. Where's my ruler? What did I do with it? What did I do with it? Good gravy. What did I do with my ruler? There it is. That's why I always try to put stuff in the same place. It has a place where it lives. So if you take your centering ruler, that's kind of the easiest way to do it. But 2.5 divided by 2 is 2 3/4. So I just wanted to show you that. Okay. So line this up at 2 3/4, and then we're just going to whack it in half. Okay, so now you have two kind of half pockets. Okay, so I can show you here. All right, so we're going to do that with both of them. All right, line it up at 2 3/4, and that should whack it right in half like that. Okay, so 2 of those. We'll get rid of this cutter and keep your pieces together so that like they match, just in case your cuts are a little bit off, they'll at least you know, be equal. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ruler down. Let's see, how am I going to do this? I'm going to do this. That's how I'm going to, is that how I do it? I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so I'm going to go 1.5 inches from the fold here, from the side of the pocket. So 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to do it again from the bottom. I'm going to go 1.5 inches. Okay, make a little pencil mark, and then I'm going to draw a little line, and then I'm going to cut. And I'm just going to cut both of the layers completely off. That's going to be my left-sided pocket. Okay, so here's your tab that's going to attach to the page, and then here's this. So here's your other piece of pocket. It's going to go attached to the other side of the page. So then what you do is you just simply fold it like that, or turn it so that it's on the back side here, and then you can line it up, and you don't have to measure again, and then you'll have even cuts, and you'll have a matching pocket on that side. So there you go, you have your angled pocket. All right, so then what we're going to do is grab our book. If I can get this stuff out of the way. All right, we're going to grab our book, and we're going to put this down just like this. Okay, now there's something else we want to make sure. We're going to line this up to the edge here, to the score, and then we want to make sure that our pocket isn't going to go over the edge. So if I cut this right, it should just go to the edge of the page, and it does. So you just want to make sure of that. So then just add your glue here, and then we're just going to put it onto the page, line it up right to that score, and then do that. Okay? All right. Then we're going to take this one and do the same thing and just line it to the other edge. All right. And then if you saw the walkthrough, there's going to be tags in these pockets that will hold those little areas shut. Okay. And then we're going to have a surprise on the inside. Oops, I did not do that very good, did I? Okay, so, great. I lined it up. I'm going to cut just a wee sliver off, because it lined up when I laid it down, but then when I glued it on there, I must have done it a little bit crooked. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a cut there and line it up. And then you can also just kind of fold it. There we go. Make sure that it closes nice. All right. All right. Okay, other side. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to take our pockets. Book is falling. We're going to take our pockets, okay, so one on each side here, the little 1/2 inch tabs, okay, and we're going to take our ruler and our pencil, and we're going to go 1.5 inches, and 1.5 inches, make a little tick mark, line that up, all right. That off, and then line these two pieces up, like that. Okay, so now we have our other two pockets. We can lay those down, and then it'll help probably, we don't have a knot and this lays flat. That's probably what I should have done on the other side, and then I would have probably didn't have any problem. All right, so I'm just lining this up. Looks like I might have to take a sliver off of that one too, just a wee bit. And it's not gonna show in the whole grand scheme of things. So make sure that's lined up nice. Okay. And then I'm just looking just a little bit. Yeah, that's more better. Just want to make sure that it's not hanging off the edge of the page. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's going to be tags that go in the pockets. That's what's going to hold these shut. But what else are they going to hold? Let's find out. Let's make the waterfalls that are going to go inside of those. This is really kind of cute. This is going to be fun. So the next piece we're going to do are waterfalls. We're going to make 2 of these. You're going to need 2 pieces. I'm calling them pieces A that are 4 by 10. 2 pieces I'm calling B. They're 9 by 4, and 2 pieces that are 4.5 by 4. Okay, so we're going to take these and we're going to score them. And this is the super easy thing. So they're 4 inches wide. I'm doing them 4 by 4 squared as far as the pages for the waterfall go. So if you put them up at the top with the longer end up, so this one would be the 4.5, you just have to score it at 4. Okay, and the same with this one. Just scored at 4. Okay, we'll need 2 of each. So then the next piece is the 9-inch piece. Super simple. If you don't want to do math, score it at 4, turn it around, score it at 4, and you should have an inch gap here. So again, score it at 4, turn it, score it at 4 with an inch gap. And then on the 10-inch piece, scored at 4, again, turn it, scored at 4, and you will have a 2-inch gap here, which is what you want. Then scored at 4, and scored at 4. Now this one's going to be an odd numbered page waterfall, so we're going to have 5 pages to this one instead of 6. That's why one page is a lot smaller. So here's how we can line it up. I'm going to take one of the 10-inch pieces and I'm going to lay it down with the score lines. You know, they're going to fold like this. I want those on the bottom. And then I'm going to take the next piece, which is the 9-inch piece, and where the scores are, where you're going to fold it like this, I'm going to put glue on that 1-inch piece here. And then I'm going to line this up right in the middle. So it's going to go in the middle. It's lined up at 4 inches right here, if you can see that. So I'm going to line the score lines up at 4.5 and 5.5. And that'll give us a 1/2 inch gusset in between those pieces. And then I'm just going to stick that down. Okay. Then I'm going to take the smaller piece, put a little glue on this 1/2 inch tab, okay, and then I'm just going to lay this down, and I'm going to lay it down on, or you know, right up to against that score line that is lined up at the 4.5 inch mark here, okay. And that's all we're going to do for that. And then all you have to do is fold it up and burnish, and then you're going to have a really cute stacked waterfall. I've done these before on my projects, and it's kind of a nice way of making your waterfalls. And this way you can make, you know, kind of a odd numbered instead of, you know, an even numbered waterfall if you wanted to. This is a way to do it. So there you go. So now we have 4-inch by 4-inch square page waterfall assembly, and it has this part here, that 2-inch space. That's how we're going to attach it to our book. Okay, so let's do that again really quick. So we have our biggest piece here, which is the 10-inch piece, and then we're going to take our 9-inch piece, we're going to put our glue on. And we're going to line the scores up. So the score is at 4. We want a 1/2 inch gusset, so we're going to look at the 4.5 inch line. That's where that's going to go. Yep. And just glue that down. And then I'm using the edge of this not only to measure, but also to keep a straight edge. Okay. And then this guy here will just line up right at the 4.5 inch mark. Right at that score. We can get rid of this. And then we can fold and burnish our waterfall. Okay, so it's kind of a fun way of doing them. My stacked waterfalls. I like these. I like these a lot. Sometimes I have trouble if I have multiple pieces. You know, if you make one crooked, they're all crooked. And this, for me anyway, seems to be a nice way of doing them. Okay, but you are kind of limited in size too, so that's the one drawback of them, because you can't pretty much go past a 12-inch piece. So anyway, so now we have our 2 waterfalls. So these guys are going to glue right behind here. All right, let's undo this one here too, so I don't have a knot. Okay, so these guys will glue onto here. We have to put the pattern paper down first. So let's find that. Okay, so you have to lay down. I'll do just one side so you can get the gist. So we'll put the paper down. We're going to put this down. And then if you can imagine, here's the paper that's going to go on the top of the waterfall. I'm going to leave the rest of the pages. I dropped a bunch of stuff. Sorry, guys. I'm going to leave the rest of the pages blank. I will put in the 1/2 inch things in the 1/2 inch gussets, but you can see how that's going to go. And then what's going to happen is that'll be behind here, and then let's see. Oh, I did it again. I dropped them again. So this is one of the cut aparts that I'm going to back on white cardstock. It says, "Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?" Really pretty. I love this. What this is going to do is go in the pocket with a couple other tags, and then that will hold everything closed. So your waterfall will be back there, and then the tags will help keep this little closed. But then when you pull the tag out, you can open the little doors, and then surprise, you have a waterfall. So you can kind of get the gist of what we're doing here. So let me put this bunch of stuff away here. Hold on a second. And then we'll glue that down so you can see how it goes. And then I won't glue the other side down today because you'll get the gist. It's going to be exactly the same thing on the other side. Okay. Get our glue here. Lay that down. This paper was also in the design team package, and it was it's the same paper line, but it's the solids that go with the Echo Park America. All right, and so then if I can get that off my finger, you just go ahead, put that over to the side. So you just put the glue on the 2-inch mark here, or the 2-inch space here, kind of the base. It kind of creates the base. And boy, I made a mess on that one. Okay, and then just lay that down, and I'm gonna stand up and kind of eyeball it here. I'm just gonna put it right in the middle here. just like that. Then our little 4x4 cut apart that I did trim down 1/8 of an inch on 2 sides so that it would fit in the 4x4 inch space right there. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's that. So that'll go like that, and then we'll have a card in the pocket, and that'll help keep it closed. Okay, so the other side we'll do this. I'm going to do the same way, but I won't do it on camera here today. Okay, but that will do that. So we can just actually put these in the pocket for now. There we go, and that'll help keep it closed. Okay, so now the last thing we really need to do, because this album is done. So if you can imagine, let's close it up. Left page always goes over the right. So these will be tied pretty. Like that. Alright, so we'll have that tied, and of course we're going to add pattern paper to all of this, and you've seen that in the walkthrough, so it'll be all nice and pretty and decorated and everything. But some of the pieces do have to go on first. Okay, so right, left, okay, the magnets will help hold that shut, and then these go up like this, and then that goes up like this, okay? So then the next thing we're going to do is do the journal for the inside, okay? So the journal here, you're going to need a piece of paper of pattern, cardstock that's one piece that's 7 by 10. Boy, I cannot spit this out. One piece that's 7 by 10. And then I took 5 pieces of typing paper, or typing paper. Boy, that aged me. Copy paper, and I just took 5 pieces for this book, which when folded will give us 10 pages, okay? You can use as many as you want. I'm using 32-pound paper. I really like that, but you can use, you know, anything, you know, you want. And I have a stapler that I'm going to use, and I love my stapler because I make lots and lots of little books and pamphlets and traveler's notebooks and everything with it, and it just makes it super, super simple. So I cut the paper, so this is 7 inches wide here, or 7 inches tall by the time we fold it and everything. I cut the paper just shy of 7 inches because I wanted to make sure it didn't go over the ends when we fold it, okay? And then I'm just going to take a couple clips, and I'm going to clip it. And then let me grab my stapler. Let me show you this guy. So I went to the office store, and I got one of these Long Reach Paper Pro staplers, and they're amazing, and they will go through 25 sheets of paper. It's super simple. It truly is not hard to do at all. And it's really cool. This one has a ruler, so you can actually measure how far in you want it to go, and then it will staple in exactly the right spot. So for this paper, it's 10 inches across. When I fold it, I want the midline like at 5 inches, right? So I set my little stopper here to 5 inches. And then all I have to do is set it down. And then I want to center it because I want a staple in the middle and then one on each side. So I usually, what I do is take my centering ruler and let's see, put it in here. No, other way. Other way. I'm confusing myself here. Okay, so I put it in here since it's 7.5 inches wide. If I set it so that it's 3.5 at the edge here and 3.5 at the edge here, then I know it's centered, okay? And then I'm just looking at the red parts here and just making sure that they're on the same line. So let's move that up a little bit, and probably is it right about there? Let's see, that's 3/4, 1 1/4, and this would be, that's 1. Yeah, right there. Okay, that looks centered. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop it down. That's it. And then you only need the center one for the middle. And then I usually line up the edge with the edge of this and pop it there. And then line it up here and then pop it there. And then I've got 3 staple lines that are centered. And I think I got one a little bit off, but that's okay. Let me put this away. And then what we're going to do, we're going to cover this with pattern paper. You could also do a pamphlet stitch and sew this if you wanted to, which would be really pretty. So then just fold it on that staple line. Make sure that the bottom and the top edges are, you know, even. Okay, use your bone folder to help with the fold. Okay, and then all we're going to do is trim. Now, I'm always off just a little bit, but that's okay because we're going to fix that. Okay, you will need kind of a heavy duty X-Acto knife to do this. And then I just lay this down, and I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use this one because it tends to stay where I want it better. And I'm lining everything up, so I put the edge on a line here, and I'm lining the edge of the ruler up here and here, so I can center it really nice. And then I'm going to grab my X-Acto knife here, my big one. Okay, making sure everything's straight. And then I'm just going to kind of lightly go through this. It's going to take a couple passes, okay? Just do it nice and gentle, or, you know, a little bit of pressure, but do it nice and slow, I guess I should say, and do it gentle, because if you don't, you'll get jagged edges. And then you'll have a nice straight edge on your journal, okay? Then you can go back in, which I like to do, and round the corners. So if you have your, let me find my crocodile here, and you can do it, you know, however you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. That's perfectly a-okay. And then I just go back in, and crocodile can handle several pages at a time. So I just make sure that they're all nice and lined up, and then go ahead and round your corners. And then you're done. So this is a really cool little thing to do. You can make your own notebooks. You can make your own little journals for inserts for your albums. This stapler, I mean, seriously, it's like the best stapler ever. I just love it. It's real heavy duty. I didn't get that quite straight. Okay. And I just love it. So I use it all the time. I have some friends who have traveler's notebooks, and I'm constantly making them inserts and stuff. And I make them for myself as well. Okay, so now we have our notebook. So when we open up our album, okay, this page here is going to be like a photo mat type page. And so is this page. And then remember, we're going to have tags in these swing pockets, and when they swing out, then we're going to have our waterfall assembly there. And again on this side as well. And then here's your gusset pocket, and our notebook will fit right in there. And of course, we're going to cover it with pattern paper and everything. So this is the album, guys. Let's real quick, we'll put the seam binding on there. I'll show you that. Okay, and I like the big fluffy bow seam bindings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and actually I'm going to open it up all the way so I can lay it kind of flat. I'm going to turn it upside down. There we go. And grab my score tape here. And like right in the, trying to use my grid marks here to try to find the middle here. I need a bigger desk. I think I do. But you can see these would be in the way while we're constructing, and so that's why I didn't, you know, want to put I didn't want to put them on till we're done. Okay, so just right in the middle. Okay. And I like to stack these because when we tie them, then they make a pretty bow, and I don't know, I just love it. Let's see, let's go like this. Just stack it on top of each other. This will be covered with pattern paper, and as a matter of fact, I can show you how that's going to look here in just a second. And then I won't do the bottom one because you got the idea, but we're going to do the same thing for the bottom. That edge is a little jagged. Okay. And then since I've used so many, I'm just going to reinforce it again. All right, and then, let's see, this is the top of the album, right? Yep, that's the top of the album. Let's get the piece that I created for the top of the album. And I'm also going to round the corners, and I used a different corner rounder for that one. I use this guy. So I'm going to corner round this. And then we're going to glue that right on top of there. So you can kind of get the gist of what I'm doing. So I know you've seen this album finished because you looked at my walkthrough. So this is the end of the construction. So then it's just a matter of putting your pattern paper on and doing your journaling cards and decorating and adding your pictures and your memories. So yeah, it's going to be perfect. All right, there we go. There we go. Oh, look at that. Super cute. So these were pieces in the ephemera pack that came with my design team package. I backed them on blue cardstock, and then I used some flatback pearls from my stash. And then there you go. So when this is closed, right, left, go up like this. So that will tie in the middle. So you can kind of see how this is going to look. I'll show you the bottom piece too here real quick. Where to go? There it is. The bottom piece that I made. Will be this. All right. All right, you guys, that's my tutorial. So I hope you liked it. I really enjoyed putting it together. I thought it was a lot of fun to create, and it's really, really super, super pretty. This paper collection is just amazing. I just love it. I'm glad I had a chance to play with it, and I hope you liked this. Go to Country Craft Creations and get your Echo Park America paper collection and create something and have fun. You guys stay safe. Be careful out there. It's still, you know, kind of great out there as far as the COVID, you know, it's still around. So please just be safe and have fun and take care. And I will see you again soon with another tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.